Welcome, good evening and welcome to the Monday game, coming to you live from Stamford Bridge. The tie of the round, most arguably between Chelsea and Manchester United. Two heavyweights taking on each other, and one, folks, need to go tonight. As the lights darken here and the pyrotechnics come into force, the teams are now in the tunnel as we speak. And again, you'll be able to hear your comments on the chat facilities as well this evening. I've got the team news as well, which I'll bring to you in a second with formations. Also later on we have the draw for the quarter-finals of this season's FA Cup. We'll get a decision here tonight as the teams come out of the tunnel, led by the referee Kevin Friend of Lancashire. An excellent noise, excellent vigour around this great ground here at Stamford Bridge. This really is a proper atmosphere. Two sides who met in the Cup last season and met in the 6th round the season before. Chelsea winning on both occasions by a goal to nil, in Cole County scoring in the 6th round match a couple of seasons ago, and Eden Hazard scoring a penalty in last season's final, which put Chelsea's name on the trophy and gave Antonio Conte a nice going away present. But a lot of the Chelsea fans are not happy with Mauricio Sarri's efforts this season. Some of them want to see him gone from the club. Whether he will, or whether Abramovich will pull the plug, that remains to be seen. But they are way off the pace. They are still in the Europa League, which they have a decent first leg league from, and they have still a chance in this FA Cup competition, and they picked a very strong lineup. So too in the theory of Manchester United. Well, let's go through the Chelsea side first, with Kepa in goal for them, and then a back four of Azpilicueta at right back, Rudiger and Luiz the two centre halves, and Alonso at left back. Then it's N'Golo Kante, Jorginho and Kovacic, so that will play as a three-man midfield. And what a front three they've got there. Pedro, Higuain the centre striker, and Eden Hazard on the left of the three. We'll run through the subs in a minute. No Lingard and no Martial, but it's Romero, the regular cup keeper, in goals. Then a back four of Young at right back, Lindelof and Smalling the two centre halves, and Luke Shaw. Matic on the right, Herrera and Pogba in the middle, with Mata, well, in fact Matic will play as the anchor man, Mata the attacking midfielder, Herrera on the right and Pogba on the left, and up front you've got Romelu Lukaku and Marcus Rashford. Let's go through the substitutes very carefully, very quickly, as Mauricio Sarri gives a handshake and a little bit of a hug there to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the Manchester United interim manager. He's at the club till the end of the season, but they've had a good run of Manchester United this season. Referee tonight is Kevin Friend from Leicestershire, and I can tell you that VAR is being used tonight. That I can tell you with almost a great degree of certainty. What an atmosphere. And now, before the start of the game, we're going to pay tribute once again, as we have done all weekend, to the great Gordon Banks. And will be a minute's applause in memory of Gordon, who was a terrific goalkeeper for many years. And now they're going to have the minute's applause. What a respectful applause for Gordon Banks. Certainly, without a doubt, along with Peter Shilton perhaps, England's definite number one. The FA Cup is a tremendous competition, there's no doubt about that. Marcus Rashford to get us underway for Manchester United, and what an atmosphere it's going to be. The Monday game coming to you live. And what an atmosphere atmosphere it's going to be. The Monday game coming to you live from Stamford Bridge. Remember the draw for the quarter-finals of the FA Cup as the game gets underway. So, what an atmosphere this is going to be as Mata picks the ball up, finds Rashford over on the far side, and the ball runs steady to touch and behind for a goal kick. And this really will be a tough test of both managers' skills here tonight. And I should also tell you that if there's a draw after 90 minutes, we will have extra time, failing that penalties, as Kepa plays the ball away for Chelsea, finds Alonso, who's starting out on that left hand side, feeds Kovacic back inside to Alonso on to number 5 Jorginho. Good ball out towards the far side here, and now a chance for Pedro, the former Barcelona man, to strut his stuff down that thing aside. He cut in field and he went down, but the referee was quite adamant that wasn't a free kick. Matic now finds Pogba through the centre on to Mata. Good football again for Manchester United. Lukaku has got Rashford in the centre, and almost an own goal by David Luiz inside his own 6-yard area. That would have been a catastrophic start for Chelsea, but Manchester United here, right from the word go, have made a fantastic start. The ball played in, and the cross came David Luiz to hook the ball out. Excuse me, and the ball came away for a corner. So a real opportunity now for Chelsea having to defend this corner. There's one boy in the crowd there with a banner, Hazard, can I have your shirt, as the ball is flicked on inside the penalty area, but there was an infringement and a free kick. Excuse me. A little bit of sneezing going on in the commentary box. Excuse me again. Paul Pogba. Well, Chelsea really need to hit back after a humiliating 6-0 loss last weekend to Manchester City. Sorry, they have that capabilities of performing when they need to, really. And as I say, it's a cracking atmosphere inside this ground, and I've got to tell you that the football will be played the game will be played at a very ferocious pace, no doubt about that. And of course, we'll welcome your comments. We have the chat online as well for you, and of course we'll bring that to you. But at the moment it's still 0-0 in this 5th round, and so as soon as we get a break in play, we'll have the chat facility, we'll be reading your comments, and of course we'll have the JB man of the match in the second half. But just to remind you, 2 points as the ball is hooked long towards Rashford, headed away by Runninger, only as far as Lukaku, ex-Chelsea of course. One Mata, another ex-Chelsea lad in there. Pogba now playing out to the far side, and here's Rashford just gone towards the left hand side there, and then the ball hooked away. Kante now winning in midfield. He got the goal between the two sides in the quarter-finals a couple of years ago. 3.5 minutes gone, still Chelsea 0, United 0. And now the ball is spread forward by Shaw in towards the area, chipped forward by Pogba, and Lukaku volleys it with his right foot, and it goes well, I think it went into the second tier of the Matthew Harding stand away to my right. Just to remind you of colours, because I didn't get a chance to remind you earlier about that. Chelsea are in the blue shirts, Manchester United of course in their famous red, so it's easy for me to distinct from which team's which. And Manchester United attacking from right to left, as Hazard for Chelsea are attacking the straight end, where there's many Manchester United fans congregated behind. And I've got to say with some certainty this is going to be some match here. Of course your comments will be very much appreciated. I am sorry Russ, I know it was supposed to be your match tonight, but I've had a long day and I fancied the commentary quite honestly, but we will hopefully we'll get you a match for next weekend. And actually we might, if you're available next weekend, I've got an even bigger proposition in mind for you, because for the cup finals this year we're going to do something different for the League Cup final should we go live next weekend. we're going to go back to the old BBC radio days where myself and another voice, and it's probably going to be on a Sunday around about 4 o'clock, the game kicking off, the League Cup final. Hopefully we'll have that live for you, and what my feeling is putting an extra voice in on the commentary. So Russ will do the second period, will do the first period of the first half, and then me the second half of the half, and vice versa. So we'll change voices around about halfway through both halves in the old BBC radio days. So let me know, Russ, if you're available, and it would be brilliant if we could do that as well. A little deflection on the cross takes it into the arms of Sergio Romero, and now a throw taken by Hazard. Hazard now looking to get the ball forward, and in fact, let's just to remind everybody that doesn't know already, that we do, if it is level after 90 minutes, we do have extra time and penalties in play, as the long ball is spread out towards Marcus Rashford, headed back by Rudiger. As I'm just writing a comment to put in the comment section. And of course we got the draw for the quarterfinals coming up after the game. And we will be able to read all your comments via my mobile, because I have it on mobile phone as well, so just be aware of that. And as I say, don't forget the draw. We'll be live with that afterwards. You're missing nothing at the moment as Mata come forward for Chelsea, 0-0 in this Monday game live. And I have to say, Russ, I did actually you didn't really get in touch with me during the day, so I've got to be honest, I had a lot on my plate today as well, so I couldn't really get in touch, or you couldn't get in touch with me really. But oh, you had a lovely day anyway. Give us anyone that's on, we'll give you a shout out. And of course JBM LTM, last half an hour of the second half. But remember, VAR is in operation for the contentious decisions tonight. The other game, of course, that was needing VAR was the one on Saturday lunchtime between Brighton and Derby. Maybe where else was played at Football League grounds, as the long ball played in there towards Rashford, far side. Rashford first touch a little bit heavy, but keeps it in well. But then the foul by Alonso on him, free kick to Manchester United in a very good position, and this really gives them an opportunity. Extra time will be played tonight. Our penalties, it will be decided tonight if it's level after 90 minutes, folks. Here's Young on the right hand side to Rashford. Rashford going at his defender past Kovacic as if he wasn't existing on the planet. Little chip in there by Matic towards the far post and headed forward. I think it was Chris Smalling of all people coming forward there, and a good opportunity there for Chelsea as he came in at the back post. A nice little ball in by Matic, another former Chelsea player of course, and had a straight in the arms of Kepa, who was beaten 6 times against Manchester City last week, 8 days ago since that fateful day. But listening to a lot of Chelsea fans in the build up to this match, I think they've had enough of Maurizio Sarri. I must admit they did look bewildered. I watched the game last Sunday against Manchester City, and they did look they did look like as if they've run out of ideas. This is Alonso now on the left hand side for Chelsea, infield to Kovacic. They need to Kovacic has gone down holding his face, and the referee's played an advantage. This could be a difficult one here. VAR might even get involved at this stage of proceedings. The referee's obviously had to stop it at this point. I think Alexis Sanchez was the man involved. He's speaking to Sanchez here. Now I wonder if VAR will get involved here. We have it in abundance here. Kovacic did seem to go down holding his face. It's Herrera who's been spoken to. Kovacic is also being spoken to by the referee. Be interested to see what action the referee takes here, but no VAR wasn't needed. I think the referee was well on top of the situation. So a free kick, David Luiz to take it 23 yards to the left of centre. Quite possibly be. Sergio Romero's in goal. Remember, no Lingard and no Martial, so Manchester United's pace has practically gone with those two. Huge blows for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who lost to Paris Saint-Germain last week, as the free kick comes in and the goalkeeper didn't deal with it well, and bumped in again by Pedro on the right hand side of the 6-yard box after Romero made a bit of a mess of the first effort from David Luiz. It was practically down his throat. He went to fist it. He should have really tried to catch it. In the end, he parried the follow-up shot from Pedro, and in the end it came straight to him. He managed to grab hold of it at the second time of asking, but a little bit of a worry there as he hit that hit that with some ferocity, Pedro, it's got to be said, but he should have held on to the first one, in my opinion, there, the goalkeeper. Here's Alonso forward, and Hazard has got the break. Hazard now keeps possession, does really well, runs at his man, past Young. Hazard does well. Kovacic has now joined the attack, plays the ball into the penalty area, and header back once more. What a performance this is going to be now from between these two sides. What a game we've got now. As Kovacic comes forward, he finds Hazard, a little tricky winger, whose ability to make things happen is one of those brilliant runs as he played a 1-2 and hit it just to the left of centre on the edge of the D, and he hit it just wide of the right hand post. Lovely 1-2 play there with Alonso on the edge of the Manchester United penalty box. Hit that with some bread on his side, the side of his right foot. Draw, of course, will be coming up for the quarter-finals, and we'll hopefully have all those games live on the JB Clark YouTube channel, at least 2 of them live on the JB Clark YouTube channel, hopefully. This is actually our 8th FA Cup commentary of the season. I know we've had a dramatic twist one way or the other as the ball gets played over to the far side. 12.5 minutes gone, incidentally, on the Monday game, coming to you live from Stamford Bridge. Last minute change of plan. We were going to wasn't sure how long I was going to be at the job interview, and I got back in about half an hour before the kick-off, so it didn't give me much time to get Russ in, so I had to take over myself, and I should have really let Russ know about that. I do apologise, Russ, but I hope you're enjoying the game nonetheless. Here's Lukaku down that far side, and or that near side rather, and it's David Luiz booting it out of play. I don't think it's going to end goalless for too long here. I think there will be a goal in this game, and we'll be with you all the way to the end here this evening. So if you're planning on tuning over the cold feet at 9:30, providing don't even turn over the cold feet later on, watch it on the iPlayer later. This game really takes on significant importance, and we do have the draw, so our programme will be around, I think, until about just before 10 o'clock tonight, so important that you stick with us for the next 2 and a bit hours. It's going to be exciting. Here's Herrera now from Matters pass. Herrera shoots, and wow, a sprawling save down and away to his left hand side by Kepa. Terrific hit there by Ander Herrera with his right foot. He struck it with some ferocity, and must have been a ball of 25 yards, and he struck it superbly. Meanwhile, Hazard's on the ball, and he's been bundled over by Matic. Free kick to Chelsea just inside the centre circle in their own half. The referee going straight to his back pocket and booking the former Chelsea man, Serbian international, as he, well, may have been the slightest of contacts there, but slightest it was. Good right-footed effort at the other end, and what a good save by Kepa, diving away to his left-hand side. Got a good couple of hands on that. Always fear for these foreign goalkeepers when they attempt to palm shots rather than catch it, but Matic now has been confirmed as the first booking of the match so far. 5th round FA Cup, touch back to Alonso. The FA Cup in association with Emirates. Hopefully we'll get Chris Whiteman back in the commentary booth as well soon. He's been having to play on Saturdays for a while, that's why you've not heard him on the Saturday game for a little while. He's usually our normal commentator. Meanwhile, we've got Higuain at the other end, and he's chipped the ball back, but he's chipped the ball onto the roof of the net as he tried to get his shot off just to the right of the goal inside the penalty area, and behind for a goal kick. Little chip forward there. Control, good chest control, but the goalkeeper did really well there. Romero forced him wide. By the time he did get his shot off here, Gonzalo Higuain, the Argentinian, the angle just died on him a little bit too much. Signed from AC Milan last month. Didn't enjoy his best spell at Milan. Although there's a lot of expectation. He's 30 years old now. He's been around for quite some time, Higuain. It's hard to imagine he's first onto the scene as a teenager, but he's still an experienced hand even at 30 years old, and is still a top quality player. So is Hazard, who's now on the ball, darts into the penalty area, back to Kovacic on the left. Just sold Alonso a little short there, but he's kept that in. Marcus Alonso now back to Kovacic once again. Now David Luiz has possession and the ball in the midfield. Kante now playing the ball back. Manchester United will not have great memories of him as the header comes in towards Higuain by the penalty spot and heads it just wide of the right hand upright and behind for a Manchester United goal kick. Lovely approach play again. A good cross from the far side, and just needed a bit more accuracy from Higuain, but he's got the quality, there's no doubt about that. Gonzalo Higuain, he's a very confident sort of player, and if you come in late, it's Lukaku and Rashford up top for Manchester United. No Lingard, and certainly no Martial. I couldn't think of the name then. Rachel Sarri on the bench. We haven't seen, there's no sign of Gianfranco Zola at the moment, unless he's in the technical area. Here's Smalling now for Manchester United. It's a bit even Steven in this first half. Always directing traffic down below me as it happens, and the ball laid on now towards Romero, forward by Matic. A nice little ball over the top. Now a chance here for Marcus Rashford, holding ruining her off pretty well and going down, and the referee, I think, wanted to play. I don't know if he wanted to play advantage or not. Rashford certainly was down and being helped to the floor. Let's see what happened here. Rudiger was he was wrestling with it. Rashford's trying to shield the ball, and well, I'm not sure if he's tapped him on the head. It was no more than a tap if that, and I think Rashford has made a little meal of that, but only he will know if he felt contact and it was strong enough for him to go down as if he'd been shot. But nevertheless, Manchester United do have the set piece on the left hand side. It's a good 23 yards from goal, and a big opportunity now for the men from Old Trafford. Rashford over the free kick. He's going to take it right footed across the line, and well taken by Kepa inside his 6-yard box. That was a good piece of goalkeeping there. 19 gone here at Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0 in the 5th round of the FA Cup. The final tie of the weekend. 5 attempts to Chelsea, 4 for United, and attempts on target 2 for Chelsea, 3 for Manchester United. Shows how good a game this really is, and it certainly has been a tie that's been full of intrigue and suspense and everything else, as Kovacic flicks that one on. Now a chance now for Jorgensen, and a good little flick there, and Azpilicueta's got it, the captain of Chelsea. Cesar Azpilicueta in towards Eden Hazard now has just switched out to the flanks, and Panini's on. Good evening to you, Panini. What a game. It is a good game. Just needs a goal, Panini, and I think we might get it sometime here. Remember, extra time and penalties will be required if it ends a draw after 90 minutes. Or 120 in the case for penalties. And just another, mind you, we do have the video assistant referee in operation, the old VAR, Alan Shearer's favourite topic in operation tonight, and he is in the stadium as a television pundit tonight for the television guys, as Pedro has gone down on the near side. Ashley Young with the challenge being restrained by David Luiz here. Kevin Friend has got a decision to make here. Does he go to VAR for this? Oh, I tell you what, he'll be very lucky there, Young, if he escapes without a caution. He'll be very, very lucky. Derby 0, Forest 0. I think that's currently going on at the moment. I think. Is that it? No. I'm sure. Derby Forest playing tonight? I'm not sure anyway, but he has got a yellow card, Ashley Young, so we are back in situ again. Don't forget the Man of the Match award voting will come into force from the 65th minute onwards tonight. Here's Marcos Alonso. We are due to stay until about 9:45 once the draw has taken place for the last 8 of the FA Cup. We'll bring you all the post-match interviews as well, with Ailey Barber as well at full time. Might even bring you 1 or 2 snippets at half time as well. We'll just have to see how that one really does play out. Here's Kanté now for Chelsea, over to the far side, and here's Cesar Azpilicueta, the captain of Chelsea, into Higuain. Infield he goes, and now Hazard takes over, finds Pedro 30 yards from goal, cuts towards the edge of the D. Pedro goes down, referee saw it, plays on. Chelsea are still got good possession in a very good area. Hazard has stayed on side on the left hand side. We are halfway through the first half, 22 gone. As the ball crosses in it's crossed in rather by Hazard, and easy this time for the goalkeeper. Hazard's crossed from the left hand side and plucked out with a minimum of fuss this time by goalkeeper Sergio Romero. And it's been a really, really good first half here. Very enjoyable, very, very good. And I think we could be in for something really special here tonight. Still 0-0 by the way. If you joined us late, Rashford's had a chance saved. Pedro has had a free kick. David Luiz had a good was forced to save from Romero. Of course, Higuain had a header that just went narrowly wide of the right hand upright, and those have been the main opportunities so far in the game. But it's been a very open cup tie so far. 23 gone, still goalless. Here's Hazard now for Chelsea on the left hand side, left to the penalty area, goes back to the left, and Alonso, and he's gone really forward here. Manchester United attacking plans congregate the shed end. Panini on with a remark about the Metropolitan Police. He'll be watching the draw with Chelsea win. Well, they've got to get past Manchester United first. Well, if Chelsea do get through and they draw Millwall, what a game that promises to be. Anyway, but we can't really discuss what might happen in the draw until tonight's match has happened. We can speculate and think what possible outcomes and potential draws and ties might happen, but already through, I can tell you, as I see a picture there, so Alex Ferguson looks in absolutely terrific health, and in actual fact, so Alex Ferguson will go back to managing Manchester United, only as a one-off though, because later this year it's the 20th anniversary of the treble winning team, as the team that for Bayern Munich played the team of that era for Manchester United. Both teams playing that night, and it's a special one-off match for charity to celebrate the 20th anniversary of that famous night in Barcelona. And the goalkeeper Kepa there was in complete dire straits, and just managed to get the ball away. But United here on the attack with Rashford, and in the end it could have ended up being a complete and utter Greek tragedy for the Chelsea goalkeeper. Wow. Anyway, here's Ashley Young now for Manchester United. Panini's been on. Gillingham Man City. Yeah, Gillingham were robbed that day, I've got to tell you. There was a lot of generous injury time, I have to say, given in favour of Manchester City that afternoon at Wembley. I thought Gillingham had done enough to win that day. I really did. Even as a 16-year-old kid at the time. Here's... well, that's Kepa, and why didn't he just put the book through it in the first place? I don't understand these foreign goalkeepers, how they can do that. Anyway, at the other end we've got Alonso, and that's going to be... I think he's giving a goal kick, I think. Yes, he's ordered a goal kick, the referee. Alonso felt it might have been a corner, judging by his facial expression. 25 and a half gone, and it's still 0-0 here in this fifth round cup tie. So already through are these teams. Watford on Friday, then on Saturday we saw Brighton, Millwall and Manchester City book their places through to the quarter-finals. Yesterday we saw wins for Wolves, which you heard on the YouTube channel, and that was an absolute classic down at Ashton Gate yesterday. We really enjoyed that one, and Crystal Palace won easily, and Swansea came from a goal down to beat 10-man Brentford by 4-1, so they're all through. It just remains this final 16 place, this final last 16 game up for grabs now. So 7 already guaranteed through. So Millwall, Wolves, Manchester City, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Swansea and Watford all through so far. So 7 out of the 8 teams we know are guaranteed to be there. But who will be the 8th and final team? Will it be Chelsea in the blue or Manchester United in the red? Manchester United on the attack now with Herrera. 10 yards inside the Chelsea half of the field. 27 minutes almost elapsed here at a very boisterous and actually quite a worried Stamford Bridge a moment or two back when Kepa almost gifted Manchester United an opportunity for an early goal, or for a goal rather. It's been quite late in as we get towards the gone way past the halfway mark now of the first half, as the ball is lifted into the penalty area, and Lukaku was trying to get on the end but he couldn't be found. Here's N'Golo Kante now for Chelsea. Ball played in towards Jorginho and Azpilicueta as well. Good football again. Chelsea absolutely look lethal on the counter attack as Hazard closes in, tries to play the ball forward, and the ball is charged away. And here come Manchester United. It's a real game of cat and mouse here as Pogba tries to run towards Azpilicueta trying to win the ball, but here's Kante now far side, needs a first time cross. Wasn't a particularly well hit cross, and it's behind for a corner off Luke Shaw. 28 almost gone here at Stamford Bridge. It's Manchester United been holding Chelsea here to a 0-0 scoreline, and we will have a decision here tonight whether it's through 90 minutes, extra time or penalties. The game will be played to a finish. And I can also tell you, for those who have joined us late, that VAR is definitely in operation. Chelsea corner far side into the penalty area, looking towards Rudiger number 2. Rudiger actually chasing his own backward header, and in the end Rashford comes away with it, the much more thinner and much more language sort of Manchester United player. Lukaku is a bit more big and beefier and bulky. Here's Alonso now back in field once more to Jorginho. I will run through the substitutes a little bit more in a minute. I haven't had a chance to run through the substitutes because we haven't really had too much in the way of breaking and playing, because we've had so many incidents so far as Manchester United now bring the ball away. Still 0-0 here in this intriguing but riveting FA Cup 5th round tie. And here's, oh, that looks a foul there. The referee's poised to blow up, but I think he's going to play advantage here because Hazard has possession. Picks it out again. Oh, what a waste. What a waste. Kovacic just was very, very casual, and the ball goes back to Kepa, and that momentum that Chelsea were building up has petered out. Just to remind you of the benches, Caballero for Chelsea, Barkley for Chelsea, this is the Chelsea bench, Barkley, Giroud, Hudson-Odoi, Zabacosta, Willian and Christensen. For Manchester United it's David De Gea, Eric Bailly, Alexis Sanchez, Ander Pereira, Fred, Dalot and Scott McTominay. And now other two benches, very strong lineups for both tonight. Remember, Manchester United have no Lingard and no Martial through injury, so they've lost all their pace. And you are welcome to comment. Only Panini so far has commented, so let's get your comments in, folks. I'd like to read a few of those out. I want you to know. I want to know how you're enjoying this match here tonight. And of course, we'll want your votes for man in the match. And David Luiz needs a new shirt. Well, he needs something right now. Here's Manchester United. Here's Marcus Rashford, the ball is in by Pogba and into the area it goes, and a goal for Manchester United. And it's Ander Pereira who's unmarked in the 6-yard box. The cross came in from the left-hand side, and Ander Pereira with a superbly placed header into the left-hand corner of the net has given Manchester United a lead here at Stamford Bridge. And is the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer magic rubbing off again here domestically for Manchester United? It didn't work in the Champions League, admittedly, last week, but this week they certainly bounced back in the best possible way, have defended really well, and when they've looked good on the break, boy have they looked good on the break. Lukaku laying the ball forward and then the ball on towards Pogba, the flag stayed down. I think Chelsea might have tried to play the VAR game this time, but there was no doubt about it. Herrera was onside. He ghosted in behind a very static ball watching sort of player in Marcos Alonso, who just let him go. Poor defending from him. Nothing Kepa could do about it in the Chelsea goal, and a terrific header from Herrera. And Manchester United, I have to say, I think merit the lead. They've played really well. Yes, Chelsea have looked good themselves, but when it comes to enterprising football, certainly at the moment, you can't really beat Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side for enterprise. And well, it's all for Chelsea to do here now if they're going to save the FA Cup. 1-0, 31 minutes, Herrera with the goal, and that's now been confirmed as the time of the goal. Great game this, and stick around, folks, because we could have another chance inside the area. Higuain with a shot with his left foot, but the flag had gone up for offside anyway, despite the best efforts of Sergio Romero in the Manchester United goal. Wow. Is he onside? Well, I think it's just off, actually. I think the linesman got it right. So Manchester United, what a fantastic goal that really is from Manchester United's point of view. Foul has been given on Kovacic. The Chelsea have only themselves to blame. They've just been all over the shop at the back, and again their defensive frailties are there for all to see. And you've got to say, Manchester United, the way they're playing at the moment, forget the shenanigans against Burnley for once, let's forget about all that, but in the other games that I've seen them in, they've looked red hot, they've looked unstoppable. Paris Saint-Germain last week was certainly a blip. Maybe they know that they need to probably get better quality of players, and if they are to challenge to win the European Cup again in the future. But domestically they don't seem in bad shape at the moment. And this Paul Pogba cross, this is more like a man that's worth 89 million quid. Solskjaer has certainly got the best out of Paul Pogba, there's no doubt about that. And what a great header by Herrera. Sometimes his workload goes very much unnoticed by a lot of journalists and pundits, because all the focus is on Mr. Pogba and Mr. Lukaku and everyone else. But there's no mistaking Ander Herrera's quality, and I think he's an absolute colossus when he puts on a Manchester United shirt. There's no doubt about that, and it's a great moment for Manchester United. There's no two ways about that. But a great header, lovely goal, and well, Manchester United are in the lead, and they played really well tonight. Both so have Chelsea, but I think it's good for the game that Manchester United score first, because it means Chelsea now have to have to try and show a bit more urgency, and at the moment they're not showing enough urgency. They're going back to front, and that's always a disappointing thing when they, doesn't matter how much possession you have. The problem is with Chelsea, they're not being ruthless like Manchester City were against, albeit a better or worse quality of opposition. That's doing Newport. With all due respect to Newport, they're a fourth tier side, and Chelsea up against oh, and almost a goal then from absolutely nothing from Pedro on the far side. I think it was a cross-cup shot, and I think Romero might have got a glove on that. Chelsea are peeling a corner and looking to place the cross. He's mishit that, and it's almost gone in the net. I'm not sure if he's touched this. Let's have a look. Did it come off Luke Shaw? It certainly caught the goalkeeper out anyway. I don't think it had touched anyone, despite the protestations from the former Barcelona player, but it's, nevertheless, with 10 minutes to go, it's a Manchester United goal kick. Romero to take. Well, it's going to be Maurizio Sarri. We covered the game against Arsenal the other week where they were poor in the extreme, and they did miss good chances in that first half, and a free kick has been given to Chelsea, fouled by Smalling. It's got a nice little ponytail, as I see, almost like very dreadlocked sort of player. Looks really cool with that haircut, I have to say. Chrissy Smalling. Now here's Kovacic now for Chelsea. They can't be relying on this pretty football now. They have to try and come out and try and get an equaliser just before the break if they can get the game back on parity. That looked a foul there, I have to say, but the referee reckons that Kovacic made a little bit of a meal of that and decides to play on for Manchester United. United do win the free kick, foul on Ander Herrera, the goal scorer. Oh, you know, folks, if there's any Chelsea or Manchester United fans tuning in, let me know, and we'll give you a mention here this evening. But it's the Manchester United fans who are taking over Stamford Bridge, and the shed end is a wall of noise now. Yeah, started out at Maidstone United, Chris Smalling, and went on to Fulham, where he was nurtured under the managership of Roy Hodgson, sorry. 37 gone. It's Chelsea 0, Manchester United 1. In case you joined us late, it's Herrera with the goal 31 minutes into the contest that has given United the lead, the advantage. Away from home, it's always a difficult place to come, Chelsea, but at the moment the way Chelsea are playing, it's, you know, it's probably, I won't say easy street for Manchester United. It's been far from easy, as Higuain has somehow shook off his man with the area, but straight away United got two men back. But here's Hazard trying to chip the ball back, got a deflection surely, but it's a goal kick. I think one or two of the decisions not going Chelsea's way at the moment. This is the problem though with Higuain. He's a great player, experienced player, deadly finisher. The problem is now he doesn't have the pace he once did, and he's not a footballer that really, from the looks of it, is blessed with any great pace, as we saw a replay there. Shaw just showed too much of that to Shaw, and then Hazard tried to chip the ball back. I don't think there was any deflection of a United player. I got him job on the day. I got him a job on the day he signed. He got the job. Fulham signed him. Anyway, 1-0 to Manchester United anyway. Oh, we love Panini on these live streams. He's a character and a half. He's a magnificent guy, and he tells the most unbelievable stories, and you can't really get a word in edgeways. He's an absolute character. A Gillingham lad, born and bred, and if you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, he's got retro videos of football documentaries, as well as his own supplementary commentary that he does himself, and he does a decent job on it. So if you don't listen to my stream and I'm off air, give Panini a try. He's a fantastic guy. Matt, to give him his proper name, he's an absolute great guy, and I'd give his channel a look and actually subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, if you are a first time listener to the channel, don't forget to subscribe yourself and hit the bell button for notifications. Meanwhile, it's Lukaku trying to hit the ball across the line, and it's given away. Now Jorginho to bring it away for Chelsea. Into N'Golo Kante. Now Gonzalo Higuain. He finds Eden Hazard here. Coming up towards the last 5.5 minutes of the first half. We're just past the 5.5 minute to go mark. As the ball comes out and it's ball goes forward, I should say. Romero, he's had a good game. The only problem he had was he mishandled the David Luiz free kick. Apart from that, he's been excellent. 58% possession Chelsea, 42 Manchester United. So Chelsea are certainly domineering as far as the possession is concerned. But the old adage is, it's what you do with that 58% possession. They've not really done enough, in my opinion, to warrant being in front. They've sort of wasted it as well at some points, and they've gone a little bit from front to back in terms of their play. Meanwhile, we've got Eden Hazard down injured in a challenge here with Marcus Rashford. He clearly run the ball. He came off his shin, and he was, and Rashford's follow through hit Hazard's shin, which caused him to go down. I'm not sure if he's in that much pain, to be quite honest. He'll be back up and running in a minute. I do think that the foreign players do make a little bit of a meal of it. If it was in the olden days, they'd have got up and got on with it. Never mind the wailing in agony and all that sort of game. You haven't got really time to do the play acting stuff, Chelsea, at the moment. I bet Sarri can't get them in quickly enough, because I don't think they've really had the confidence here. Now he is in consultations with VAR, and in fact, Manchester United have got a free kick. I think VAR was called here, and it's play on anyway. But I do agree. I think I don't know how you guys think. I want to put a little question out to you guys here on the comment section. Do you think the VAR system needs to change? I think they have to be played what the VAR's playing on the big screen. I think that has to be the case here. We've got to get a situation where it's like rugby league or cricket, where everyone can see what's happened, and then the supporters can come to their own conclusions. That that might be the case. But I'd love to see how you guys think about it. I thought the FIFA system was good. You know, they were a little bit confused at times when they held the World Cup last summer. I thought it was a terrific exercise in the way that VAR was utilised, but I still think you need the crowd, the fans and the crowd and the audience to see the actual replay and what the video assistant referee, and I think he needs to be within the confines of the football stadium, not 30-40 yards away in the Pogo's in the professional game match officials offices in just outside London. Anyway, here's Kovacic now, far side. Chances here now. Pedro and Alonso and Azpilicueta trying to play a low ball in, and hooked away by Lindelof. Throwing to Chelsea level with the penalty area of Manchester United on the far side, the right hand side. So still remains 1-0 to the men from Old Trafford. This is Jorginho now. Kovacic wants it to his left. Plays a 1-2 there with Higuain. Back to Hazard, back to Kovacic again. Now back to Hazard. Kovacic made the forward run, and now he's got just in front of Hazard. Alonso has it on the near side. Into Hazard, right, still on the left hand side, remember, as the ball is now fed towards Kovacic. This needs to be better for Chelsea. Oh dear me, they want a poor ball into the penalty area right now. That's magnificently and preposterously disappointing there from Chelsea. We're into the last 90 seconds of the first half, and it's very, very, very bad. I do VAR in my house, says Panini. Yeah, they need you at the grounds, Panini. I think you make a better video referee than one or two others. Anyway, back to the game at the moment, and it's a foul, is it? No, says the referee. Kovacic was not fouled. We've got 1 minute of the 45 to go. Sarri is asking for VAR. I think that's going to be a very word for the next few years. Now the referee is letting the game breathe. He's not going to go to the video official. I don't know who it is, the video official tonight. I'm going to check at half time because I hurried my notes very quickly. Here's Rashford now as the ball is chipped back in there, and it could be a second one. It is 2-0 to Manchester United, and it's guess who, the £89 million man, Paul Pogba. And Kappa is at fault, and Manchester United, dare I say it at this stage of proceedings, could have 1 foot in the quarter-finals. And Paul Pogba, what a colossus he's been since Solskjaer took over. When Mourinho was at the club, he looked like a lost little boy. Now that Solskjaer has come to Old Trafford, he's looked like a man transformed. Rashford with an awful cross, and where was the Chelsea marking? And really static. Rudiger and Aspilicueta were just nowhere. Pogba got in between them, got the header in, but still, Kepa should save that for me. It's within savable distance. He doesn't get a good hand on it, and he should be doing an awful lot better than that. And Solskjaer can see the semi-final, quarter-final gates rather, opening up in front of his eyes. Paul Pogba's too. By the looks of it, good header, but the goalkeeper at fault. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 2. We're into 2 added minutes, incidentally, at the end of the first half. I am sorry, Russ. I am honestly. It was all a bit rushed at the end. I do apologise. But it is 2-0. And it comes to Kepa in the goals. I do apologise, Russ. I can't apologise enough. I really can't. And it is 2-0 now. And it is a fantastic moment for them as David Luiz goes on the break. 30 seconds will take 10 minutes and come back in time for the second half. But what a performance it has been. This really has been a tough examination of Chelsea's progression, and Manchester United certainly up for the cup. And I'm going to give Russ a ring at half time as well, just to say sorry and just explain my reasons as well, because it's important that I do that. But it's a great first half as the referee checks his watch, blows for half time. So a great result so far for Manchester United. Herrera and Pogba with the goals, giving Manchester United that 2-goal buffer. We're going to take 10 minutes here at Stamford Bridge. Be sure to join us for the second half if you can. But at half time here, it's looking good for Manchester United, and barring accidents, dare I say it, are 1 foot in the quarter-finals. Half time, Chelsea 0, Manchester United 2. Be back in 10 minutes. Welcome back to Stamford Bridge. I've just seen the quarter-final ball numbers for the draw. Wolves are number 1. Well, we've just lost that for a second. We did have the numbers for the draw. We'll get those back up on the screen for you. So these are the numbers then for the quarter-final draw, just in case you want to check those out. It's 1 for Wolves. Wolves are ball number 1. Millwall are ball 2. Crystal Palace are ball 3. Manchester City are ball number 4. Chelsea and Manchester United, it looks completely at the moment the way things are going, Manchester United will be ball number 5 unless Chelsea make the mother of all comebacks. Swansea are in ball number 6. Watford are ball number 7. And ball number 8 are Brighton and Hove Albion. So just to go through them ball numbers once more: Wolves ball 1, Millwall ball 2, Crystal Palace ball 3, Manchester City ball 4, Chelsea or Manchester United, looks slightly like it might be Manchester United, ball number 5, Swansea ball number 6, Watford ball number 7, and Brighton ball number 8. And that is the situation as we stand as regards the ball numbers for the quarter-finals. The players are still off the field as we look at the match stats. Possession, Chelsea shaded that. Attempts, United nicking that 6-5, and they've had more on target, so they are deserving of their 2-goal lead. Just the 2 corners, 2 bookings for Manchester United, Matic and Young, but United still in control, I feel, at this stage of proceedings. Whilst I was off the air, I apologise to Russ, because what happened was he was due to do the commentary, and then I literally got sorted out at 7:20. I literally coming through the door. I haven't even had anything to eat yet. I've just made myself some toast, and I've just eaten that toast and done myself a brew, so I'll be eating properly after the football, after we've done the live. And I actually wandered in through the door, and as a result, that was what happened. And in other news, Sean Harvey is going to be leaving the Football League at the end of the season, and from what Russ tells me in our phone conversation we've just had a minute or two back, he's going to be going to the Premier League. So the Premier League will be his destination. And Leeds have been fined a substantial amount of money by the Football League in their part in Spygate. So Spygate, and they've had a written warning from the FA, have Leeds United. But at this moment in time, Leeds have been sort of fined by the Football League. As I said, for Spygate, I think it was a little bit of, I don't think there was anything done about it, but it apparently, according to Russ, it's broken Rule 44 in the FA rule book, so must have broken some rules to get that, but never mind. And the FA Cup is really in full swing, and I've healed it. Well, I was very gutted to hear that Russ had took the news badly that I was doing the commentary. It was just the late stages really when that happened, as Peter Kenyon and Sir Alex Ferguson in complete discussion with each other. Sir Alex must be delighted, because his team are on the verge of possibly going into the 6th round draw, and they will be ball number 5 should they get through, and we'll bring you that draw after events here at Stamford Bridge, where the second half is about to reconvene. Chelsea to get us underway, blue shirts, and they're attacking the goal, and a false start. Would you believe? A false start, would you believe? So Kevin Friend says let's go again. Bit of encroaching, smile on the referee's face, and off we go for a second time. So at the second time of asking, we are back live underway from Stamford Bridge. 2-0 in the FA Cup to Chelsea, and really it was I think it's very, very difficult to see Chelsea coming back. Their attack looks very slow, it looks very inept in the moment. Big chances were missed. Higuain missed a couple of great chances. David Luiz had a free kick saved, but really that was probably Romero's only mistake so far in this last 16. We saw wins for Manchester City on Saturday, and yesterday that terrific victory for Wolves against Bristol City. What a marvellous match that was to do, and I enjoyed every second of that. Although I have to thank John Ruddy for getting my Sunday lunch early, because I might have had a delayed Sunday lunch, because if he hadn't made those saves, we would have been commentating long after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So one has to thank John Ruddy for that. Meanwhile, it's Kante now for Chelsea. They're 2 goals down. Kante goes forward. Azpilicueta on the near side, pulled back, and it comes off a defender, and it's behind for a corner. Came off Luke Shaw. It came off Azpilicueta, I believe. Goal kick, in fact. Just to run through the 2 lineups, still changes from either side. It did actually come off Azpilicueta. So Kepa in goal, Azpilicueta, Rudiger, Luiz, Alonso at the back. Kante, Jorginho and Kovacic the 3-man midfield, and up front we've got Pedro, Higuain and Hazard. On the bench we've got Caballero, Barkley, Giroud, Hudson-Odoi, Zabacosta, William and Christensen. Manchester United have Sergio Romero in goal for them. A back 4 of Young, Lindelof, Smalling and Shaw, Matic, Herrera, Pogba and Mata, and Lukaku and Rashford up front. On the bench, De Gea, Bailly, Sanchez, Pereira, Fred, Dalot and McTominay. Referee Kevin Friend of Leicestershire is the man in charge. Right, here's Kante now for Chelsea, knocking the ball over the top, and here's Shaw now for Manchester United, and Pedro now takes possession and now finds Kovacic now in the centre of the park. Kovacic to the far side, and finds Alonso over to the far side, and this really will be a classic, as Gillingham make the long arduous trip to Sunderland tomorrow. Of course there's a full Football League programme, and of course there'll be a full Premier League programme next week as well, a week on Tuesday and Wednesday, so some midweek Premier League action for you to enjoy. The JB Clark channel as the shot comes in from Higuain. Next Saturday we have a couple of Saturday games for you. We'll have live or delayed Burnley against Tottenham Hotspur from Turf Moor, and we'll hopefully have a Saturday game live for you. So that might happen, and then on the Sunday the League Cup final coming to you from Wembley, and I'm apparently going to be the sole commentator for that one. As the corner comes into the penalty area, comes out as far as Kante shoots and it deflects, and it might come here for Rashford through the centre. Rashford now turn to take on all comers, and he's beaten 2 or 3 of them, and he's beaten Azpilicueta as well, and he's got Lukaku in the centre, and David Luiz got back in the nick of time. It might have come off a hand of Azpilicueta. Referee was quite clear in his decision. No penalty, play on, as he waved his arms, as the ball now is kept in play by Chelsea. 2-1 down they are, and the ball comes out to the far side, played in towards Higuain there. Great football this time, but off. The free kick has been given to Manchester United. Paul Pogba, the man who's been penalised. This is the run again by Rashford on the replay. I'm just seeing there, good run, and did this hit Azpilicueta's arm? Oh, I tell you what, I've seen those given. Well, he's got back, but that's certainly in the bracket of Syndham Gearing, and I'm surprised Manchester United didn't refer this to the VAR, because I think it might have been liable to give a penalty. When you have your arm stretched out, it is very, very difficult. Certainly in a natural position, it's very hard to argue against a penalty not being given. But referee was brave there to not give a penalty to Manchester United. But still, it remains 2-0. And here is Kante forward. And here is Hazard running at all comers, and he's been fouled according to the referee, who's reaching for his back pocket, and it's Matic, who's already been yellow carded, of course. Now will he go into the back pocket here, Matic? I thought for one moment he was. Chelsea want him sent off. He's pleading his innocence here, Nemanja Matic. Let's have a look on the replay. It's a good run. He gets the ball. He gets the ball for me. I think that's a very poor decision from the referee. I've got to say that 5 minutes into the second half, it's Chelsea 0, Manchester United 2 in the FA Cup. Hazard to take the free kick, and Hazard smashes it in towards Luiz, who headers the ball back, and a chance inside there for Kovacic, but he couldn't get there, and Manchester United hooked the ball away. Ross says tomorrow there are 1 Champions League game, 1 Championship, 5 League 1 and 4 League 2 games, not to mention 2 Champions League knockout games. Liverpool involved in a very big game against Bayern Munich. Meanwhile, it's all kicking off here at Stamford Bridge. Matic involved again. Maurizio Sarri wants action. Mike Phelan is having an ear to the conversation with the 4th official. I'm not sure who the video referee is, but maybe they need to look at it. It's Matic on Kante here. I was looking at the comments section when this happened, and it was, well, that's bookable. I have to say that Chelsea want Matic sent off. I think you've got a case there. Now, this is where VAR should be coming into its own here. Very difficult here. The second one, he certainly didn't get the ball. First one, I thought he got the ball. But anyway, 52 gone. Still 2-0 to Manchester United. That's the important statistic. Maurizio Sarri's appealing for everything down on that touchline as the ball is chipped in there towards Higuain, and N'Golo Kante takes possession, and now the ball is kept in by Azpilicueta to Pedro, and Luiz now charges forward, and it comes towards Azpilicueta once more. The ball chipped in towards the penalty area. Lindelof nodded it behind for a corner. And now Manchester United looking to see this out as the corner comes into the penalty area. Poor one really from Hazard, beyond his own high standards. Chelsea claim a corner. Romero thinks he's kept it in, but he hasn't. It's come on Paul Pogba and has come back. Anyway, we've got another Chelsea corner here. David Luiz is still moaning and groaning. I think he's got it. I think he reckons he's got his shirt being tugged or something of that magnitude, and he's really taking it to Kevin Friendly. If he's not careful here, Luiz, he's going to find himself in massive trouble. Kevin Friend just saying, look, I'm in charge, let me get on with the referee, you get on with playing, shut up. That's what he said to David Luiz, and as he comes forward, he's up against Lindelof. There'll be a lot of jostling as that ball comes in towards the penalty area. Manchester United dealt with the corner. Hazard's corner kick routines have not been of a very high standard at all. Chelsea look aside that are really low on confidence and self-esteem, and you just wonder, Maurizio Sarri, is his team equipped enough? They had that Europa win in midweek, but really that's papered over a few cracks. They've still got to go, that was away from home, they've got to play the second leg at Stamford Bridge on Thursday evening, but ball rushes back towards the goalkeeper. Azpilicueta keeps it in. Remember, next weekend Chelsea, we will be focusing on Chelsea again at Wembley in the League Cup final. They play Manchester City, and Chelsea will be sincerely hoping, and their supporters at any rate will be hoping beyond all shadow of a doubt, that they will be, well, put up a much better display than what they did at the Etihad, as we see Gareth Southgate and Steve Holland in the crowd. Gareth Southgate splendid in a nice flat cap, could be at a farmers convention. But Gareth's in the crowd, and England of course build up to the European qualifiers for 2020, and of course the Nations League in the summer, as the ball comes forward and it's a great tackle there. I can't see who it was, but it looked as if Pedro was going to get in to score, and Sergio Romero's also hurt himself. So Luke Shaw with the tackle. I think Gareth Southgate would have been impressed by that tackle as well. Collision there with the goalkeeper by his own defender. But Southgate will be pleased with Luke Shaw. The way he's played today. Small's done okay as well. And there's concern here for Sergio Romero here. I think he's pointed towards his stomach area. They're just keeping his head still while they assess him. Damage to him may well be needed. Got the Studo to keep him warm, but it was a great tackle, as Panini said there, by Luke Shaw, and I'm pleased to report that I think Romero's going to be A-OK here. Kante laid the ball in down the right hand side, but Shaw just gets the merest of flicks on the ball and gets it away from a corner. That was great defending, but it's still a bit more defending for United to do, and they've got the goalkeeper injured. He's still feeling the effects. Pedro wants to take the corner, but the linesman will not allow him to. Del Romero is absolutely certain to play on. It's all about health and safety these days, as the corner is taken into the area. Ball comes to Jorginho, had to budge past the referee. Now the ball comes out towards Kante. Now Pedro, back to Kante again, and again it's just going back to front, and it really is. It's going to be bad. Do you think that Sarri will remain as Chelsea boss? Well, he has to win the League Cup on Sunday, Russ, otherwise you would say his job's in peril. Roman Abramovich, as you well know, Russ, is a very hard taskmaster and very hard to please, and he's not afraid to pull the bullet. He's had bosses into the team since he took over in 2003 when a certain Mr. Ranieri was manager. He's had Ranieri, Jose Mourinho twice, Philip Scolari, Gus Hiddink twice, Villas Boas, Di Matteo, Conte, as Pedro is replaced by William, incidentally, for the first change of the night, and now Mauricio Sarri. He's had so many bosses, and this is really where... Oh, and Ancelotti as well. Ancelotti won the double in his first season, and really was he was history after the second season. And as the corner gets given for Chelsea, it's a little better from Chelsea, a bit more positive. Lindelof though, good defending here for United, and I think United have now really learnt the art of defending very, very well. The free kick was taken quickly, and Paul Pogba there proving that he is now starting to show a bit of his price tag. There's a Chelsea player gone down there, appeals for a penalty not given. Will Chelsea revert it to VAR? They're in a desperate situation here in this tie, and they'll have to use... Sarri will have to try and use every possible trick within the rules in the book to see if his team can get a VAR decision. Artezzo will have to revert it to VAR. I'm still not convinced who's the... Well, who knows? Dyche for Chelsea. Sorry, goes. I don't think Dyche will beat Roman Abramovich. I think they'll go for somebody very big name like Thomas Tuchel's doing a great job at PSG, and of course Zinedine Zidane is one that they can't ignore. But you know, he was touted very much when Mourinho lost his job at Old Trafford as a potential replacement in the summer. But the way Solskjaer has got United going, I don't think they need, as we see a yellow card out for Rudiger, late challenge there. I think the way Solskjaer is performing at Old Trafford, I think he'll get the job permanently. I think Zinedine Zidane would be a good fit for Chelsea. Certainly get the best out of the team. I'd have a cheeky 25 to 1 bet on Mourinho coming back from a third spell. And I'm going to call with my BAR expert, Panini. Was that a Chelsea penalty that Oh, Azpilicueta with a casual looking back pass back to the goalkeeper. Chelsea, yeah. Match officials, Russ, we knew that the referee is there. The video assistant referee is Anthony Taylor, our nemesis from 2 weeks ago. And I must say nemesis because he was the referee that failed to give Ashley Barnes the most obvious penalty known to mankind. Because you may remember they were playing, I forget who they were playing now. They were playing, who were they playing now? I can't remember now. It'll come to me. It will come to me, but as the ball is it was offside anyway, but we should have had a penalty in that game, and it was Southampton, I remember now. It was 0-0 at the time, and we should have had a penalty order, but spiritual balance was restored since then. We've since had 2 penalties in the end. With Anthony Taylor, yes, Southampton, yes, Ross. It just came to me then as you came in with the message. Yes, Adam Nunn is the assistant VAR official. The assistants are Stuart Burton, Edward Spart, and the 4th official was Andre Mariner from Birmingham. He was the referee, incidentally, at the Bristol City Wolves game we covered yesterday. Manchester United with a throw level with the 6-yard box. So 62 gone on the clock. And off the defender for a corner as the throw was taken. I've just had a text alert from Google saying that the scoreline in this game is 0-0, but we all know it's 2-0. It's Mata takes the corner as United go looking for a killer third. We've had 62 minutes gone in the second half, so we've had over a quarter of an hour gone. The ball in towards the penalty area, headed only half away by Azpilicueta, but there was a little bit of pushing and shoving going on, which Mr. Friend, the referee, saw. And a free kick. I think the referees handled the game okay, although Matic could have been sent off at some point for Manchester United. He is teetering on the brink at the moment for the men from Old Trafford, but they are 2-0 up and still looking fairly comfortable at this moment in time. Here's Azpilicueta to Willian. They have made a change, Chelsea. The United yet to make a change. Chelsea have got left Caballero, the goalkeeper, Barkley, Giroud, Hudson-Odoi, Zabacosta and Christensen. United have still got their bench to choose from David De Gea, Eric Bailly, Alexis Sanchez, Pereira, Fred, Dalot and McTominay. If it gets to a point after 70 minutes when Solskjaer's team now that they're still in a 2-goal position or maybe more, he may well think about making 1 or 2 substitutions, maybe give McTominay some game time as well. John Terry and Frank Lampard in the crowd. John Terry, the assistant at Aston Villa, as the shot comes in from Hazard. I think it got a deflection, he's saying corner, and the referee concurs, it's a corner. I just saw a shot there with John Terry and Frank Lampard. John Terry, the assistant at Aston Villa, and Frank Lampard, whose team really didn't perform as well as he would have liked at Brighton in the lunchtime match on Saturday afternoon. Meanwhile, it's a Chelsea corner. Remember, the draw for the quarterfinals is coming up after the game. Whatever happens, we'll be with you until at least 9:45 tonight, or when the draw is finished. As the ball played back in by David Luiz, and Chelsea again won another penalty. Kante went down. I want to get Panini's view on that. He's our unofficial VAR man. He's sort of like our Graham Poll, if you like. We'll get his views on that in a second. Chelsea have had a yellow card as well. N'Golo Kante. So let's have a look. What does Panini, our Mr. VAR, think of that possible penalty shout there? Chelsea had a player gone down, they were appealing, and then he went on to concede a free kick. So free kick now to Manchester United, and I've got to say they've been rather professional. So, in fact, VAR has been called. Oh, I tell you what, he's got a small in here, could be in trouble. We're just looking at a VAR thing now. The referee has been alerted to here by Anthony Taylor. Now, is he going to give a penalty here? No, he isn't. But I have to say that looked a penalty. pen to Chelsea, says our resident VAR man, and I think I agree. That looked a penalty. That's a replay, but nobody referred it to VAR, and if it's not referred, unless he's been overruled, then he can't give it. But they've got to get to grips, these referees, with VAR, in my opinion. But Chelsea nearly denied a penalty there, and it just worries me at the moment that VAR's not been utilised enough, and I'm sure Mr. Shearer will have his two pennant from the whole VAR debate later this evening once the game has finished. But it's still the United fans making all the racket and noise here as Pogba tries to volley the ball forward. It's probably the first poor ball he's played all match, and then given away rather carelessly there by Eden Hazard of all people. I have to say he's not had the best of matches tonight, Eden Hazard. His corner kick routines have been questionable to say the least. And here is Pogba. He's played like an £89 million man for most of this evening. It has to be said. He's shown up when it's mattered here in a very big game, a big occasion away from home for Manchester United. It was a difficult tie already, but here's Alonso's cross towards Higuain, who's just been a passenger in this second half. As we go towards the halfway mark of the second half, we've had 21 minutes of the second half, 21 and a half minutes I should say. It's still 2-0 to Manchester United, incidentally. Well, Panini reckons it was a penalty a moment ago for Chelsea. I must concur, there was a shirt pull, but if Kevin Friend doesn't want to refer it, it's well within his rights. But Chelsea should have appealed a little bit more vehemently, perhaps. Here's Luke Shaw, who's had a really faultless game. It almost got Lukaku in behind. Good header away by Rudiger. Remember, a few players now on yellow cards. One of them, N'Golo Kante, got booked a moment or two ago. Here's David Luiz now as he trots up towards the centre circle, still in his own half. Chelsea slowing it down. They can't ill afford to do that now. They can't really be ill afforded to do that. They've got to intensify the play as this second half goes by. Rashford makes the tackle. 2-0 to United. And if it stays this way, they will be more number 5 in the draw. But look at this, Small in there. Running in fact, is the man that's gone down. Not Kante as I initially thought, but well, as Panini, well, he's practically hugging him and throwing him down almost Big Daddy style there. And Rudiger could have been fouled like giant haystacks there, to be quite fair with you. 100% penalty sport, he's hugging him. Well, if it's good enough for the VAR, our unofficial VAR man, it's good enough for me. Right, 2-0 still, 68 minutes gone. Chelsea on the attack here, Hazard. United have brought 9 or 10 men back behind the ball, which is going to make it that more triply hard now for Chelsea to break through this very stubborn United defence. Down there, Willian, can he find the keys to open up United? Crossing low, and it's hooked away. Out for a throw-in off Lindelof, who's really been the pick of United's defenders tonight. He's really performed magnificently at centre, at the heart of the defence, alongside Chris Smalling. And here comes Kovacic, but he's lost the possession again when Chelsea ought to be getting a good position deep inside United's half. And here's Rudiger now, and now a chance for Hazard. Hazard on the ball, pass one, pass another one towards the edge of the area, foul. All Hazard, free kick to Chelsea in a very promising position. 21 minutes to go plus stoppage time, and if by hook or by crook Chelsea score 2 in this time, we could be on for extra time, folks. We will get a decision here tonight. So a free kick, 6 fouls for Chelsea committed, 11 to Manchester United, and they could have arguably been down to 10 men if Matic should have received a second yellow, but it hasn't happened. And at the moment, he apparently, according to our unofficial VAR man, got the ball, no free kick, so it shouldn't have been a free kick according to Panini, the VAR man, the JB Clarence VAR man. 4 on the United wall, probably 5. 2-man committee, 3 men if you put David Luiz into the equation, but it may well be Willian who's hot favourite here with 20 minutes to go. Reese wants a piece of it. He struck a wicket with some ferocity in the first half, which caused Romero to fumble, but got away with it. And it is Willian tries to chip the ball into the net. He got the ball up on the wall, but couldn't get the ball down enough for it to go underneath the bar. It was, as soon as he struck it, as soon as he got over the wall, it was still rising into exit number 12. Right, substitution time for Chelsea, second one of the game. On comes former Evertonian Ross Barkley. He replaces Kovacic, who's done alright, but gave away possession when Chelsea got into very, very good positions at key moments in the game. Rudiger was backing into him. Well, maybe I think the possible penalty shout was a bit 50-50, but we got two VAR refs in Russ and Panini who have got different opinions, but we like different opinions on this programme. It's great, it fuels debate, and that's what we like on this channel, a bit of debate. Here's Hazard now on the ball. Hazard now into the area, and he goes down. Referee says no. He did, to be fair, go down in quite a number of installments. It was almost like slow motion replay time as he went down there. It was almost ridiculous. He's not had his best game. A lot of people rely on well, I'm not sure if Lindelof touched it, to be fair. Hazard's lost his balance. And to be fair, I think he tried to keep his feet. I'm not sure you could have ordered a free kick or a possible penalty there. I think it was, if it was any contact, it did start outside the box. 18 minutes left. It's still Chelsea 0, Manchester United 2. Goals from Herrera and Pogba. Oh dear me, that's a foul. Ron Mata knew what he was doing. Professional foul. Just to get United to get players back. No yellow card for the Spaniard as we now go into the final stages of the game. Definitely no pen. Alexis Sanchez is going to get some game time. Romelu Lukaku didn't score, but he worked hard up front, and I have to say him and Rashford was a complete handful. Now they've got a new problem here, Chelsea. Alexis Sanchez still struggling to prove whether he's worth £500,000 a week. I mean, to earn 500,000 a week, it's just mind-blowingly stupid the amount of wages that United are paying here. And if he's not performing to the levels that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to see happen, and I've got no sympathy for someone that earns all that money just sitting around on the bench. The man should be playing, but if he's not in good form, Solskjaer's within every right not to pick him. You've got to say, I think United have been fleeced by him. He's a player with undoubted talent, the Chile. We saw that in the World Cup 4 years ago in Brazil, and the goals he got against Uruguay was unbelievably good. As there's a breaking play here. Rashford and Young in conversation here. David Luiz came in rather strongly there as he took the ball. And I think that's what Manchester United are complaining about. Mike Phelan, the assistant, what a good move from Solskjaer to bring him into the coaching setup. Michael Carrick as well, former United veteran, is also there too. And these three, above all else, know the values and the traditions of Manchester United as a football club and the way that Manchester United should play. All underneath all played under Sir Alex Ferguson, funnily enough. Mike Phelan many moons ago, in the days when United didn't have a couldn't win the league championships for many years. As Sanchez goes forward, but he's bundled away by Alonso, has then been tripped, and the linesman flagging furiously to signal to the referee that was a free kick. And Juan Mata, who made a professional foul a minute or two ago in the centre of the park, is now fouled Alonso again. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer about to make his second alteration. Off comes Juan Mata, in fact. So Mata now jogging off. The referee actually made a point to him. You've got to run off as quickly as you can. You are time wasting, and I will be adding on time. It's been a great performance. Old club. Certain players that come back can bowl it. Pereira now comes on for the remaining quarter of an hour plus stoppage time. Don't forget, don't leave at the end of the game, because we will have the draw up for the quarter-finals of the FA Cup in association with Emirates. You won't want to miss that. There might be some tasty ties, but I don't think at the moment Chelsea will be contemplating a trip to the New Delhi in the quarter-finals, potentially, because it's Manchester United are winning 2-0. You just got this feeling that the momentum is with Manchester United at the moment on current form. Chelsea, at least they've kept United to 2. City scored 5 in the first half of the match at the Etihad, so they've actually done a lot better defensively, but they did concede 2 in the first half, which may well cost them unless they can find 2 goals in the last sort of 14 minutes. We've played 76 minutes at Stamford Bridge. Mike Phelan was also injured at Manchester United, but he was also a Burnley player. He comes to, actually, I know a little bit about Mike Phelan. He comes from Nelson in Lancashire, which is near where I'm from, and the feeling is that he was a Burnley man through and through, and played for Burnley, started his career at Burnley back in the early 80s, and then Sir Alex Ferguson snapped him up. And yes, he admittedly was injured, but he was a brilliant player when he was needed at Old Trafford. Was a faithful assistant manager as Hazard tries to got back in. Higuain trying to shoot, but the whistle's gone. Infringement against, in fact, it was Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley was the man who was infringing. And a free kick to Manchester United, as they've always lifted it towards Barkley. He was definitely tugging on a United player there. Couldn't tell who it was. May have been Herrera. Was it? Yes, it was Herrera. Played for West Brom too. He did. Anyway, back to the game, and it's 2-0. And well, United have put in a fantastic performance, an away performance, to really show anyone who really did doubt them. But certainly when Mourinho left, it loosened a big noose around the football club. There was all sorts of dramas going on when Mourinho was in charge. I remember Chris covering a game at Old Trafford between themselves and Newcastle when they looked down and out, and we thought we were going to have a major scoop on our hands when they were 2-0 down and could have had a penalty given against them in the first half. But then United came back and won it 3-2 in the most dramatic finish I think I've seen to a game this season. It was just unbelievable. And Chelsea need a goal, need a comeback of dramatic proportions now if they're going to get back into this tie. Panini's now acting like the VAR man. I think the Pogo should give him a job. That would be my bet. I think he'd have a whale of a time at the Pogo offices. I think he might teach a few of the establishment of the referee paternity a few tricks or two, because he is absolutely eagle eye when it comes to spotting potential decisions here. But he's been bang on again tonight, as Russ Vernon he's been helping as well. So it's been fantastic. So 12 minutes to go here at Stamford Bridge, and it's not looking good for Chelsea. And Bruce Buck, the chairman, with some thinking to do here, because his team are 2-0 down and stumbling like rapido out of this season's FA Cup competition. And it is a real problem now. Sorry, his ideas looked good when he first came, but his team at the start of the season, I saw him in the Charity Shield, and it looked his tactics really looked suspect. He had a good run of games where he was winning games. He went to Turf Moor and coped admirably with the atmosphere at Burnley. I'm winning 4-0. I remember doing the commentary. It was the day after that tragic crash at Leicester, a game I didn't really want to cover, but I felt I ought to cover because it was a big game. Chelsea were in town and everything else, and it always attracts a lot of interest. For Manchester United on the far side, and it looked as if their crisis was over when they beat Burnley very much convincingly, but since the turn of the year it's really gone wrong for them in terms of league form, and they were lucky to beat Sheffield Wednesday, I thought, although 3-0 papered over a few cracks. They won in the Europa League last Thursday. A lot of people were saying they've turned the corner, but have they really turned the corner? Their inconsistencies is not going to please the hierarchy at Chelsea. Bruce Buck, the chairman, and Roman Abramovich, the Russian billionaire, who's pumped a lot of money into the club. He's pumped over £1 billion since taking over back in 2003. He's been at the helm now for 17 years now, Mr. Abramovich. And here's Willian now for Chelsea. Willian to Azpilicueta. Needs to be a good cross. They need one back and quick here. 10 to play. Otherwise it's game over as far as this season's FA Cup is concerned. Here's Azpilicueta, but the whistle's gone. The whistle's gone. Kevin Friend making it quite clear that Matic was fouled. Free kick to Manchester United on the inside. Let's have a look again. Yeah, a little bit of wrestling there. You can't do that, I'm afraid, William. It was a poor piece of play there from the Brazilian. And Chelsea really are heading out with a real whimper, I have to say, tonight. They just haven't performed when it's been necessary, and United have done the trick again on the ground. They don't traditionally do very, very well at. It's very seldom they win, as they're now bringing on Zabacosta, which I think is an odd substitution at this stage of the game. You'd have thought there, with the game still retrievable, still, even despite the time running out, you thought he would have turned to Olivier Giroud, but he's not going to get a chance now. Chelsea have used all three, and amazingly he's got all defensive. Zabacosta, he's not an attack minded player really, and I felt Giroud would have been a better bet up front. I would have sacrificed the defender and actually gone for it really if I was Sarri, but he's the manager. He's paid to make the decisions at the moment. He's not making the right decisions, in my opinion, when in the big games that really matter. Europa League's fine and well, but even when you're winning Europa League games, it's papering over so many cracks, it's unbelievable. And the majority of Chelsea fans I was listening to on the way in tonight wanting Sarri out on the radio stations and the like. It's unbelievable really, but it's Manchester United, and I think you've got to say that the Glaziers and Ed Woodward have got to move heaven and earth to get Solskjaer on a longer deal. I think it has absolutely worked a treat. Forget Zidane. Solskjaer's the man, I think, at Old Trafford for next season. He has to be. He has to be a shoo-in. You look at the way the United fans are now enjoying it. They weren't enjoying it under Mourinho, but they are playing really good football now, and when they attack with such vigour, with such power and such strength that opposition teams cannot give in. And our Paris PSG were really good in that respect, defensive aspect, at Old Trafford last week, and they do have certain players that are just unplayable, Angel Di Maria being one of them last week in the Champions League. Liverpool's turn tomorrow night at Anfield, and another great European night in store as the ball is spreading in towards the penalty area. Higuain goes down, he wants a penalty, he's not going to get one here unless VAR decides otherwise. Matic, who has done admirably well, and they are discussing the possibility of a VAR. They may as well try and get a potential VAR decision. I don't think Kevin Fred's going to budge on that one. So 8 corners to 2 in Chelsea's favour, but they've not done anything much. Hazard's corners kicks delivery has been poor. That's a better corner from Hazard, but again just can't pick out Barkley in the penalty area. And away go Manchester United with Marcus Rashford, and he's played the ball to the left, and it's Alexis Sanchez, and the ball out towards the far side, and it's Pereira keeps it in on the far side. Did well there. Ball looked as if he was going dead there. Now he's trying the tricks and flicks. Memories of Cristiano Ronaldo. There's a United player got tumbling, and it's a certain Mr. Pogba that's gone down as the ball was played into his path. And Luis, well, I think Luis is very, very lucky not to have a free kick going against him here. Ball's gone, and he's quite clearly there clattered into Pogba, unless Pogba's got into him. I'm not sure. We'll have to ask Mr. Panini, we'll have to ask our resident VAR official, which is his unofficial title on this channel now, to see his opinion on that. But Maurizio Sarri not happy. We'll get reaction from both managers and players alike at the full-time whistle, plus the draw for the quarter-finals. We've got 5 minutes for stoppage time left here at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea fans have completely and utterly had enough, to be quite honest. Some of them are not happy, I can tell you now. There was a few thunderous looks on faces as they headed for the exit gate out of this fantastic Stamford Bridge ground, but it's not a happy Stamford Bridge ground at the moment, I can tell you. It's so bad. Manchester United on course at the moment. Chelsea on the attack, but Barkley loses out. Pereira just hooks it far up the field as he can. Rashford chasing against David Luiz, whose back pass is sufficient enough to Kepa, who's certainly going to be at fault for the second goal in particular. No, he could have done for the first one. You've got to put that down to Marcos Alonso, ball watching. The second one certainly was savable from him to deny. He should have really done better than deny Paul Pogba, but he didn't deny Paul Pogba. Pogba claiming the goal and proving why he is £89 million worth of talent. As Hazard tries to lay the ball in from the far side, the left hand side, can't find Higuain. He looks a pale shadow of his old self, I'm afraid, the Argentine. And we're now going to the final 3 and a bit minutes at the end of a game really that says to and fro. Chelsea have had opportunities, but Manchester United have been professional. It's been the perfect away performance from Manchester United, you've got to say that. But Chelsea now need 2 goals and probably several snookers in 3 minutes plus stoppage time to go forward and draw level. Panini has said something which I'll remark to in a minute, because Chelsea are on the attack. Shot from Barkley was actually charged down, and Pogba in again. He's worked tirelessly hard tonight, Paul Pogba. He's done magnificent. Here's Zabacosta now on the near side, another poor ball and easily intercepted by Shaw. But here come Chelsea now. They're not going to give up, I don't think. They need something now to make it a grandstand finish. Hazard, he just showed to show it 1-2 ready, and that has been the theme for Chelsea this evening. As Rashford is out muscled by Hazard. There's a United fan in the top tier stamp in that vile green and yellow top from 1993. Yes, I noticed it as well, by the way. But they lost at Sheffield United famously in the cup tie at Bramall Lane wearing that top. You may remember that Ryan Giggs scored in that game, 93. Ryan Giggs scored in the game. It's a goal kick incidentally to Manchester United in the present day. 2 to go. Plus stoppage time. Yeah, Ryan Giggs scored after half an hour. Then Hoyland hit back a few moments later for Sheffield United, and Glenn Hodges chipped the ball over the goalkeeper. Paul Pogba has been named the man of the match, and he's going to be the JB man of the match, because I think he's had a marvellous game, and he's really shown why he is actually worth all the money that Manchester United forked out for him a couple of years ago. So 2-0 to United. They're on course for a quarter-final berth. I'm sure Ole Solskjaer will want a home draw in the quarter-finals. Old Trafford, apart from Burnley and Paris Saint-Germain, they have been truly untouchable, and that is no lie. Yeah, Wayne scored a 3-kick against Wimbledon. Don't forget Cantona's volley as well in the same game in 1994, cup tie, of course. They won 3-0. Last minute of the second half, it's another tie that Chelsea have really, they haven't performed to their expectations, and there's a few Chelsea fans who are trying to look philosophical, but it's very hard at the moment. They have to look towards Europe, and then ultimately on next Sunday against Wimbledon. I think there's going to be 5 minutes at Wembley, I should say, not Wimbledon, that's tennis. I don't think they've been playing, I keep, Wimbledon, that's the tennis. I don't think the League Cup final is played on centre court. It's played at Wembley. Anyway, back to the game. For 20 seconds, I'm getting the word from Panini that there's going to be 5 added minutes as well. So, and Russ too. So it's actually Russ who said 5 minutes, not Panini. Was it Giggs or McClare got the third? I can't remember who got the third actually, Panini. But it's remembered for an early free kick and a volley from Cantona. Meanwhile, inside the penalty area and a chance inside the area, and it was Marcos Alonso at the far post. It is 5 minutes of time added on, so Russ was absolutely spot on the money with that one. Now, was this a potential penalty appeal? I'm not sure. I'm not seeing any replays. The BBC aren't showing me any replays at all, but what they are showing me at the moment are Chelsea fans leaving in their thousands, and there's empty seats in every stand apart from the shed end, where it's usually populated by 5,000-6,000 Manchester United fans who are having a party away to my left hand side. Here's Kante, who got the winner here in a 6-round tie between the two teams a couple of years ago. Chelsea had won the last 2 games between these two sides in cup ties. It's going to be Manchester United's day unless Sabakosi could find a goal way back here for Chelsea. Ball into the penalty area. Header came in at the back post from Eden Hazard, and it's wide for a goal kick to Manchester United. Oh my goodness me. We have now played the 1 minute and 5. Stay tuned, because once the final whistle goes, we'll be getting post-match interviews from the two managers, hopefully, certainly from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And we'll also have the draw for the quarterfinals of the FA Cup to be played, of course, in the middle of March this year. Then the semi-finals in mid-April, and then the final, of course, in mid-May. And Maurizio Sarri now is he hasn't stopped moaning and groaning all day. He feels like the whole world's against him right now. It was Paul Ince who got the third. Yes, you're quite right now. The memory's been jogged. Right, back to the game now as Alexis Sanchez wins the ball. Hasn't really done much, Alexis Sanchez. Mind you, with the United in that position they're in a fantastic position. We've played 2 of the 5, 3 minutes of the 5 to go. Here's Rashford now to Pogba. And Pogba just holds the ball up. He's up against 3-4 Chelsea defenders and still has the ball. It took Runninger to get in there and win the ball. And a nice little battle roll going on in the corner, on that near corner side, near side, right by the corner flag on the Chelsea left hand side, and Chelsea with a free kick for a little silly challenge by Marcus Rashford. Well, we're halfway through time added on. We've got 2.5 minutes of the 5 still to play. We have played the 2.5 minutes, so we've just over 2.5 to go. Scott McTominay is about to come on, number 39. He's going to get a couple of minutes at the end, and the man he's replacing is Marcus Rashford, who's performed magnificently. Remember, United without 2 main protagonists tonight in Anthony Martial and Jesse Lingard, both out for injuries. But Marcus Rashford will please Gareth Southgate in some respects, and Steve Holland, the assistant of England. And of course, England return to duty next month as they start their European qualifying campaign, and of course we'll be following them with great interest in the summer in that Nations League semi-finals and final to come on the JB Clark YouTube channel, and that should be some tournament there out in Portugal, and England must be amongst the favourites to win that particular competition. It would be marvellous to see that. John Terry is there as well, and I'm sure John will be, as a Chelsea man, will be disappointed with the way the team's performed. Another shot comes in, but it's an easy one this time for Romero in the United goal. We're now playing 4 of the 5, and it's not going to be as dramatic as it was at Ashton Gate yesterday, when it was all hands on deck for Wolves at the end of a pulsating game between themselves and Bristol City. As we now go into the closing stages of the game, and here's Kante to win it, and now Kante again onto Willian. Now Chelsea devoid of any ideas. I think Sarri got it wrong with the first substitute. I think he should have put on Giroud, would have given him a bit more presence up front, but I'm giving United an extra problem, but he went with Zabacosta, and I think that was probably the wrong decision in all honesty, as Kante now comes over. The Chelsea fans are still leaving as I talk to you. 20 seconds left to play here at Stamford Bridge, and Another attempted cross by Alonso has been charged down, this time by Scott McTominay, who's just come on as a substitute. 10 seconds of 5 to go, and I should also stress at this point it is a bit of a off 5. Young gets that forward, and away by David Luiz. Some great cut ties we've covered on the YouTube channel this season, this weekend. Here we are, 5 minutes we've played, and we might have even a little bit of time for a corner to Chelsea, and it's probably going to be just this corner only, I think the referee will allow. So it's Manchester United now, almost certain going through to the FA Cup quarter-finals. The referee just needs to blow to confirm, and that's catch from Romero. Should be the last act. It is. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team are through to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Resounding winners by 2-0 against Maurizio Sarri Chelsea, who were really devoid on the night of any real ideas and just didn't get it right technically again. They were too lethargic. They weren't urgent enough. They didn't show any urgency. Chelsea United were very efficient and scored 2 very efficient goals. One from Andrew Herrera, and then right on the stroke of half time, Paul Pogba with a great close range goal, although Kepa should have done better to try and keep that out. Herrera scoring after 31, Pogba after 45, and it was practically from that on in easy street for Manchester United. They've won by 2-0, but stay tuned, we've got some post-match reaction to bring you before we leave you, and not forgetting we will have the draw as soon as we get it, and we'll be handing over to Mark Chapman, who will be conducting the draw with Darren Fletcher and Wayne Bridge, 2 former FA Cup winners for Manchester United and Chelsea respectively. But Chelsea really have been poor. Absolutely a moment's vision. A big Manchester United fan, absolutely loves his club, always at the wheel, pride, power, strength, attacking intent and tactical awareness. Thank you, Ole, for bringing my Manchester United back. And I want to ask you, absolutely anonymous actually, do you think he should be permanently the manager next season? I would say he would be. As I said, a perfect 5th round, Panini says, and the Met police are well happy. I bet they are. They don't have to do a potential Chelsea-Millwall game. They still might have a job to do. United could still draw Millwall away from home. That would be some time if that was to be the case. United players still congratulating each other. The United fans are absolutely celebrating. The Chelsea side, the 3 sides of Stamford Bridge, are completely deserted at this moment in time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer making a point to the fans. He's going over to 6,000 travelling supporters who have travelled down on a Monday night when there's work and everything else, when the supporters usually at this time of the week have commitments, work commitments and everything else. What a great effort from the Manchester United fans to come down there and do that. Paul Pogba, and they have deserved that tonight, Manchester United and their fans. There was moans and mutters of discontent early on in the season when Mourinho was in charge. Not anymore now, because it's been the professional away performance from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men, and surely now, beyond any doubt at all, he has to get the job at Old Trafford. He's guided them from nowhere into 4th, outsiders potentially to have a title tilt, although that looks highly unlikely considering the way Manchester City and Liverpool have gone about business. And they have got a chance. They're going to be needing snookers in the second leg in Paris in a fortnight's time, there's no doubt about that. But in the FA Cup they look a real force, and I think that's the competition they'll be targeted to win. They've all gone off, but the Chelsea fans just left in their droves, and they can't believe it. United fans are still celebrating away to my right. It's been amazing. Absolutely Anonymous has replied. He says, for me, yes, we don't need a Hollywood name manager anymore. We need a man that understands the values of the club. Ole ticks all the boxes, and I think if he does get the job full time, I think he should keep Mike Phelan and Michael Carrick on the coaching staff too, I think, and that we also have to add that too. Okay, Manchester United, if you want to know, absolutely Anonymous, are ball number 5 in the draw. We're just waiting to get the draw up and running, and as soon as they're all ready, downstairs. We'll be able to bring you that draw for you with Mark Chapman and the men that will be conducting the draw. Darren Fletcher, who won the FA Cup with Manchester United, and Wayne Bridge, since winning the FA Cup himself in his Chelsea days, has been in the jungle and done remarkably well. First goal after 31 from Herrera. Paul Pogba with the assist, incidentally. Sumptuous cross by Mr. Pogba, and a superb header by Mr. Herrera into the left hand corner to give Chelsea a real headache there. Kepa on this occasion didn't have much chance, but if he didn't have much chance on the first goal, he certainly didn't in the second. The draw will follow in 5 minutes time, I'm told, I'm hearing, so we'll hopefully, but if we do get any more get any interviews, we are now. Paul Pogba and Andrew Herrera are ready to speak to Adi Barber.
That was a very, very good way to bounce back, wasn't it?
It's a beautiful win today. Great performance from the team, all of them. It wasn't easy. We went to get that win from far, but we did it, and we really pleased with that win.
A goal for you and an assist tonight. How much responsibility do you take upon yourself in driving this team forward?
Like I always say, the team helped me to get to my best. I just give everything for them. They helped me to score goals and to make assists. If he doesn't make the run, I can't pass him the ball, and we just enjoy playing together.
Yeah, it was a lovely ball he played in to you, and you finished it perfectly as well. Did it feel like the kind of game where the first goal would be crucial?
Not, to be honest, because they are a fantastic team. We had to fight until the end. We knew how to play them. I played today a more offensive role because we knew they struggle in that side of the pitch. But I think fantastic game. When you play with these kind of players, you can make them run that run, and you're gonna get the ball. But I would like to speak also about Alexis, Andreas and Scott, the way they came into the game. A world-class player as Alexis, and the way he fought. This is Manchester United, and this is what we want.
You certainly had to fight out there as well. A lot of work to do defensively. You looked very solid. How much do you take from the clean sheet today as well?
Fantastic, because David De Gea was not playing, so it's very important also for Romero. We know we can trust him as well, but I think we like to be also critical with ourselves, and we have to improve on the ball. In the second half we should have kept more the ball to make it more difficult for them, but we can be happy, of course, with the performance and with the result.
It puts you into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, Paul. You look like you're in a very good place tonight, just now as a team. We know how much Solskjaer loves this competition. Whatever happens with his future, and if he perhaps isn't here next season, how special would it be for you all to enjoy an FA Cup win together at the end of this season?
Obviously, like I always say, we are Manchester United, and we play to win trophies. And he took this job because obviously he can do it, and he trusts us and we trust him. And obviously we go for it. Then we never know if we're gonna win, but we go for it and we play to win, obviously.
Well done tonight. Thanks for speaking to us.
Yes, that was Paul Pogba you heard there, and Andrew Herrera. Just to remind you of the balls numbers that Russ has kindly sent to us again, in case you missed it earlier. Wolves on ball number 1, Millwall on ball 2, Crystal Palace on ball number 3, Manchester City ball number 4, Manchester United on ball 5, Swansea on ball number 6, ball 7 is Watford, and finally ball number 8 is Brighton and Hove Albion. And already the Panini's predicted his own little draw making method. He reckons it will be Watford against Brighton, Palace against Millwall, Wolves versus Swansea, and Manchester United against Manchester City in a derby game. Well, we'll just have to see what that comes off and see if you get any of the ties right. Now, that's an interesting prediction. Anybody else want to predict the 4 ties before we go? Remember, we've got a minute to go before the draw takes place with Mark Chapman. So we'll be handing over to him in a few moments' time here at Stamford Bridge as we get the draw there. No replays, and we haven't needed extra time in all the 8 ties that we've seen this weekend. No replays, no extra time has been required in any of the ties that we've been played. They've all been finished after 90 minutes, which is quite a novelty so far this season. So big well done to everybody involved. So Russ reckons it will be Wolves, Brightons, Watford, Swansea, Palace, Millwall and United against City. A lot of them thinking that the Manchester derby will be on. I can understand their logic, because if they do draw each other, it opens up opens up very nicely for the rest of the other 6 teams that are involved. But no Premier League casualties as far as I can make out. So still the Premier League casualty count in the Cup remains at 14. So we're all set, I think, to go to Mark Chapman in a second or two, and we are now. So we're going to go over to the draw. So the ball, just to remind you of the balls, number 1 is Wolverhampton Wanderers. Ball 2 will be Millwall, who famously knocked out Everton, you may remember, in the 4th round. Ball number 3, Crystal Palace, who have beaten the likes of Tottenham and Doncaster Rovers yesterday to get to this stage. Manchester City, who beat my team Burnley and then beat Newport County very convincingly on Saturday evening. Manchester United, who, as you just heard, have won 2-0. They've knocked out Arsenal and Reading along the way as well. Ball number 6 has Swansea, who came from behind to beat Brentford yesterday by 4-1. Watford are number 7 on the balls. They've knocked out Woking and they've got past QPR on Friday night. Etienne Capoue with the winning goal there. And finally Brighton and Hove Albion, who knocked out Frank Lampard's Derby County on Saturday lunchtime. And them are your ball numbers. And now here is the draw presented by Mark Chapman.
Hello and welcome to Stamford Bridge, where the FA Cup holders Chelsea have gone out this evening, being beaten 2-0 by Manchester United in the last of the 5th round ties. So it means we're now down to just 8 teams, and to make the draw for the quarterfinals of the Cup, 2 men with plenty of history in this competition in Wayne Bridge and Darren Fletcher. It was here at Stamford Bridge where former England defender Wayne enjoyed his greatest days as a player. Premier League and League Cup success was followed up in 2007 when Chelsea won the first FA Cup final at the new Wembley. As far as Darren is concerned, he made close to 500 career appearances since making his debut for Manchester United 16 years ago. His time at Old Trafford saw him win 5 Premier League titles and the Champions League, but his first major honour was there, the FA Cup, back in 2004. And despite the sort of blonde mullet there, that cup final marked the end of your breakthrough season, really.
It did, yeah. It was a fantastic way to finish the season, to be in the starting lineup for an FA Cup final off the back of beating the Arsenal Invincibles in the semi-final, and it was a dream come true to win the FA Cup, but especially my first season it was a massive achievement.
Of course, that was at the Millennium Stadium back then. Your cup win with Chelsea was the first final to take place at the new Wembley, which was great as far as winning the cup was concerned. It was difficult conditions.
It was difficult. The pitch wasn't great. It wasn't a very good game, but it doesn't matter. Come away with a medal, and to against Man United was even more special.
Obviously, we're here at Stamford Bridge, and we've been watching the game. Chelsea were outfought, would you say, and outclassed?
They'd done it right until the goal. And then after that I didn't think they had anything. Man United defended well, they were hard to break down, and the substitutions they didn't really help. It was just
there was loads of disquiet here about those substitutions because it was same for same.
Yeah, keep Pedro on and put Willian on, and go for it a little bit. There was none of that, so I thought it was disappointing.
What impressed you most about United's performance?
Everything to a man. A proper away performance in an FA Cup tie. Tactically got it spot on. The manager, the players, they talk about trust. Heard Pogba saying it there, trusting that the manager trusts us, we trust each other, and they just put in a fantastic performance. Game plan worked to perfection, and the players followed it through fantastically. And as you say, the aggression, the tenacity that they played at, and then they sat back second half and just seen the game out and did a professional job.
Okay, let's show you the numbers then. Just the 8 teams and the 8 balls for the quarter-final draw. Wolves will be number 1. Millwall of the Championship are 2. Crystal Palace, who won at Doncaster yesterday, today are 3. The Premier League champions Manchester City are 4, with United 5. Swansea, who beat Brentford, are 6, and 2 Premier League teams are 7 and 8 in Watford and Brighton. So Wayne, you're going to draw the home teams. Darren will draw the away teams. You're in charge of the bag with those 8 balls in. If you'd like to tip them into the bowl, and then we will be able to start. Gets easier at this stage with just the 8. So they're all in there. Give them a real swirl around before we start. As I say, you do the home teams and Darren will draw the away teams.
Number 6.
And we start with Swansea City after that comeback win against Brentford yesterday. They will be at home.
Number 4.
And they will welcome the Premier League champions in Manchester City. Swansea City against Manchester City. Another trip to Wales for Manchester City.
Number 7.
And number 7, that is Watford, who are into the quarterfinals after a Friday night win at Loftus Road against QPR.
Number 3.
And going to Vicarage Road are Crystal Palace. Watford will be at home to Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace.
Number 1.
Wolves will be at home, so having won at Bristol City yesterday, they will be at Molineux. 3 opportunities for them.
Number 5.
And going to Molineux are Manchester United. Wolves will be at home to Manchester United. Leaves 2.
Number 2.
And Millwall will be at home, so it's going to be a trip to the Den for
Number 8.
Chris Hughton's Brighton. So the final one, Millwall will be at home to Brighton. Thank you very much to Wayne and to Darren. Those ties will be played on the weekend of the 15th to the 17th of March.
Thank you to Mark Chapman. Let's confirm that draw then for you. Ties to be played from the March the 15th to 18th. So we've got Swansea City playing Manchester City. Watford will take on Crystal Palace at Vicarage Road. And another big tie there for Wolves. They're not having it easy in this cup run, are they? They're at home to Manchester United, and Millwall have got a very good draw against Brighton and Hove Albion. Let's get some reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's talking with Ailey Barber.
Imagine you're not very pleased with Darren Fletcher for drawing you an away tie.
Away tie again. You know, you've had Arsenal and Chelsea, so you hope for a home game, but that's it. Wolves away, we have to do the hard way. They're a very tough team to play against.
You must be delighted about the way your team played this evening.
Oh yeah, the performance was fantastic. It was just tactics worked. Obviously we asked Ander, Paul, our midfielders next to Nemanja to go a bit higher, get into the box more often with Rom and Marcus wider. So it worked, but the defending second half when we had to was fantastic. You know, Chris been out for 2 months, just played a game, so brilliant.
Did you recognise something in Chelsea that you felt you could exploit and indeed did exploit?
Oh well, Chelsea's they're a good team, and they've got their way of playing, which is hard to play against. But I thought defensively, Juan did a fantastic job in between the Jorginho and the 2 centre backs. So defensively, absolutely perfect. With the ball, we could have done better. We could have kept it more, especially second half when we could have controlled it. But then again, we kept a clean sheet.
I've got Alan Shearer alongside me. Wants to ask you a question.
Yeah.
How important was it for you to see a reaction from your team from the result you had the other night to putting it into practice on the pitch today?
No, it's massive. An absolute massive result. We've been obviously we've had some criticism after the game against PSG. We didn't create a lot. Tonight was a tough game, and I have to say everyone down to a T, they did absolutely what we asked about them.
Long way to go in this season, Ollie, but boy, you're putting on a good audition.
Next game now is Liverpool, so we just got to focus on that one.
Yeah, that is a big game. And what's your target this season now? Is it finishing the top 4? Champions League's going to be really difficult, or a win in the FA Cup?
Well, it's a tough game going to Paris, having to win 2-0, but we did that tonight. We won 2-0, so the league will, of course, be very important for us. But then again, a trophy would be fantastic to end up with. The FA Cup is one of the best trophies you can win. Played in '99 against Alan. I think you played.
Thanks, Ollie. Thanks very much. I was having a good night until then.
So now it's a great game. So hopefully we want to finish the season off with a final.
Ollie, thanks very much for talking to us. Terrific performance this evening. Many congratulations and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot.
I should apologise there. That wasn't Adi Barber that he was talking to. He was talking to Mrs. Lineker and Shearer. I'm sure you would have gathered that out over the tunnel. We're hoping to hear from Maurizio Sarri before we finish tonight as well. Solskjaer at United in all competitions. He's won 11, drawn 1, lost 1, scored massively, 30 goals and only conceded 9. So in 13 games he's lost only 1 and drawn 1, and that was against Burnley. The defeat coming against Paris, PSG of course. You can see what connection that the United fans have for their club. As for Chelsea, they have so many questions to answer. There's no doubt about that. Hopefully Maurizio Sarri could answer a few questions. Hopefully our reporter Ailey Barber will get Maurizio Sarri out for an interview before we leave you in a minute or two. Well, what do you reckon then? Millwall against Brighton, United going to Wolves, Swansea drawing Manchester City. Nice draw for Swansea, that will earn them a few quid, being a Championship side. And of course Watford and Palace. I think at the 4 ties, I think that one is a very hard one to predict. But if I was Chris Hughton, I would not be. I'd be absolutely worrying, because Millwall at the New Den have a terrific cup pedigree, a terrific record, as we found out for ourselves covering the game against Everton in the 4th round. Their willingness, they never give in, and to never give in was there for all to see, and they got a dramatic finish. And I would honestly think that they've got every chance. Quarter-final ties, just to confirm with Russ, he's got it right. We played on the weekend of. I was practically right with the mid-March dates. The games will be played over 4 days, so a quarter-final for each day. The 15th, the 16th, the 17th and the 18th of March, and you'll be able to hear the game on the 16th. That will be as part, whatever match takes place on the 16th. That will be definitely a shoe-in for one of our live Saturday games. You'll be able to hear that one on the Saturday game, that's for sure. And we'll bring you news on what other ties we will bring you in the quarterfinals. But I can confirm, whatever tie takes place on the 16th, we will have it covered live on the Saturday game. And I have to say, it's been remarkable. It's been a remarkable journey for Manchester United. They were nothing at the start of December, but since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has taken charge, it's been unbelievable. Hoping to hear from Maurizio Sarri before we leave you tonight. Let's see if we are going to do. I'm not sure if we are at this moment in time, but what a performance it has been from Manchester United. A real professionals performance, a real performance really that has taken the cup by storm. A weekend really that didn't perform up to, as far as shocks were concerned. We were hoping for a big one on Saturday, which would have been the greatest shock of all time, as Newport took on Manchester City, but they had a terrific run, the lowest ranked team, and now I can confirm out of the 8 teams, Millwall are the lowest ranked left in. But I've got to say that we've had a marvellous cup run. So our 8th live cup game will certainly be 9th. Hopefully we'll have both semi-finals live for you as well in April, and there's definitely the final in May. The FA Cup is a special event, and it's always a joyous occasion to bring it to you live on the JB Clark YouTube channel. And it's always an enjoyable thing to do. Yes, Millwall and Swansea, they're the Championship representatives now left in it. The rest are now Premier League. And we are waiting to hear from, hopefully, Maurizio Sarri if we can. I'm still trying to get, we're banking on BBC's Ainley Barber getting an interview at the moment, but we are still waiting. The BBC are playing some daft piece here involving a fan or something or other. No, it's been an enjoyable weekend. Proper football has come back. I have to say the best tie apart from this one was the Bristol City game yesterday, and we all recovered that at the 11th hour as well, and that was an enjoyable one as well. So very enjoyable weekend, and I thought the Bristol City game was probably, dramatic terms, the best tie that we could have had out the three. But tonight has been good as well for so many reasons. But what a cup tie it has been. What a cup weekend. No big shocks, of course, but it really has been superb. So we're just waiting for Maurizio Sarri before we leave you tonight, because I'm sure you want to listen to that and get the other side of what was a disappointing display from Chelsea. Liverpool Bayern Munich tomorrow in the Champions League, of course. Another famous Anfield night potentially there as well. There's one Championship game, a few in League 1 and 2. Premier League is back next week on the JB Clark YouTube channel as well. Burnley will take on Spurs in a Clarets match live or delayed, and of course there'll be a Saturday game live, and on Sunday we'll have the League Cup final from Wembley, again neither live or delayed, as Chelsea looking to bounce back from tonight's FA Cup exit. Can they come back and shock the world by beating the red hot favourites Manchester City at Wembley, a team that just beaten them 6-0 over a week ago in the Premier League? So much cup tie action to come from now until the end of the season. Premier League, plenty of issues still to be decided. We'll be keeping our beady eyes on the Championship race, and of course the relegation race, which has been dominating our thoughts league terms for the last few weeks, of Burnley right in the thick of it. So we'll be keeping an eye on Burnley, and of course the top two, Manchester City and Liverpool, two teams who really are battling it out. Who will come out on top? Will it be Klopp or Pep? Well, you'll be able to find out. We'll all be able to find out in the next 2 months or so. That remains. So we're still waiting to hear from Maurizio Sarri. Hopefully we'll get an interview with him before the night is out. We're extending the programme until about 10 o'clock. We've had a few predictions for quarter-finals, so here we go. Russ has said his quarter-final wins. Manchester City, logic dictates that. Watford, Manchester United and Millwall, and he reckons the draw will be between, he reckons it will be a Millwall-Watford semi-final and City against United. Panini's gone one better. He thinks it will be a Watford-Manchester United final as well, but and Russ has got and Panini's gone for Millwall to win, Manchester United and Man City to win, and Watford too. So plenty to look forward to. So, but 3 big games ahead now for Chelsea. This will define Maurizio Sarri as a manager. You've got Malmo at home in the Europa League on Thursday, then the League Cup final on Sunday, and then Spurs midweek in the league. And those 3 games alone, I believe, will determine whether Maurizio Sarri will still be Chelsea manager come the end. It's going to be, I don't know what it's going to happen. It's going to be really tough. We're hoping to hear from Maurizio Sarri before the evening's out. We're still waiting. As soon as we get the interview before 10, we'll bring it to you. If not, you'll have to watch it on you'll have to watch it on other websites. But I've truly professional performance tonight from Manchester United, I have to say. And again, I can't apologise enough to Russ. It was supposed to be his game, but with other things dictating, it was tough. But I have to say, I want to know, folks, before we leave you, is Maurizio Sarri a dead man walking at Chelsea? How long do you think Roman Abramovich and Bruce Buck will leave it before they pull the trigger and terminate his contract? Big decisions ahead for Chelsea. If they win the League Cup, it buys Sarri a bit of time because it's a trophy, and Roman Abramovich bought the club to see silverware poured in. They're still in the Europa League, but the league form has just not been good enough, and they need to have a big performance, I believe, in the cup final on Sunday if they're going to have any if he's going to have any chance of keeping his job. If he loses that cup final and loses against Spurs, the Malmo game, they should win it comfortably here, but I can't honestly see that being the case. But it's been a marvellous really that the way that both teams have gone about it. I think we're going to run out of time. I don't think we're going to bring you Sarri, I'm afraid, and I think that's that. But I want to thank everybody that's tuned in, and it's a big night, a great victory for Manchester United. They've won well tonight, fantastic performances. Now it's up to now it's the quarterfinals, and well, what 4 astonishing quarterfinals we got in prospect for you as well. No Maurizio Sarri, I'm afraid. That interview may well now be out of the question. But what isn't in question is the way that Manchester United have performed tonight. They've played magnificently well, and have really deserved to win convincingly tonight. And I hope you very much enjoyed our offering tonight. It's been remarkable in the extreme. We've had a marvellous match played out. We've had a great weekend of FA Cup action. Fantastic performance it really has been, and I've got to say I've really enjoyed commentating on the match this evening. So thank you very much indeed. Thank you to everyone that's texted in, and the draw as well. I'm really pleased to hear from you all. As I say, I can't apologise to Russ enough, but it was just unfortunate that my interview went on for a lot longer than it did, so apologies there to Russ as well. But Manchester United through. They play Wolves in the quarterfinals. The other quarterfinals, just to remind you, Swansea play Manchester City, Watford take on Crystal Palace, and Brighton have got the daunting trip to Bermondsey, to the New Den, to play the Lions of Millwall. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a tremendous rest of your Monday, and I'll see you very soon. Take care. Good night.